am here to give you a brief update about the technology and the advancements that we are doing right now. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yes.
Perfect. So let me see if I can get the sharing going here. Just 1 second. Oh, is this okay?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Full. And it.
So just a bit of a recap about who we are for those who have not seen our logotype, followed our project, or seen me in the prior events that Firm Energy have hosted. I represent a company called GE Hitachi. We are co-owned by the American GE and the Japanese Hitachi, and representing both of those two industrial companies' nuclear portfolios. We have, compared to a lot of the competitors in our industry and our colleagues, a full range of services. So we provide the industry, nuclear industry, with nuclear plants, advanced nuclear, but we have also provided service over decades throughout Europe, Asia, and North America. And we are also, and this is quite important, we are also a very well-established provider of fuel, nuclear fuel, when it comes to fueling the reactors and improving the efficiency over time. We are a bit more than 2,000, I believe we are approaching 3,000 now. We're in a very big wave of new employees. We are hiring as much as we can to fulfill the demand on the new unit side, as well as the interest that are picking up on services and fuel. We have offices throughout Europe. The closest one to Estonia, I believe, would be the Swedish one in Stockholm, where I'm based. And that we have also a service office in Switzerland and one office down in Spain. In addition to the one service office in Spain, we also have a cooperation with a Spanish company, so Enusa, who we produce fuel through. So I would say, even if we are to some extent US-based and co-owned by Japanese company Hitachi, we're also very well established in the European market. So this is just an overview of the type of technology that we are bringing to the market that is already installed sometime in the past. We have a great deployment of BWRs up in the north. You see Olkiluoto, Forsmark in Oskarshamn in Sweden. Linjen onwards down are the German ones that have recently been shut down. We have units throughout Germany all the way down to the shutdowns one in Italy, where we have Carosso and Gagliano that you may have seen are now being due to decommission. Operating units in Spain, we have Compretta still operating, and depending on political decisions there, we hope to keep that alive as long as possible to continue provide that economy with much needed energy. The technology itself, it's not a revolution. When you read about SMRs, you hear a lot about new advancements and very peculiar innovations. We are an evolution, which means that it's a rather proven design. It is a next version of the same type of technology that we have deployed many, many times before. But it is based on a couple of key innovations that helps this design scale down economically with size. Most of the reactors the large ones that you see being built in Europe and abroad, they have a big footprint. They are demanding a lot of concrete and a lot of steel. And if you try to reduce the amount of megawatts output in order to shrink down the size, it doesn't scale very well. So you still end up with a high cost, but just fewer megawatts on that grid. This technology, we have a couple of innovations, like I mentioned. One of them, it's an integrated valve that provides additional safety features, but it also helps us reduce a lot of the water that typically have been stored on the reactor design to work as a safety function if needed. And the designer behind that, he's actually born in Sweden, Christer Dahlgren. He lives in US from I think 30 years now, but he is visiting regularly, and it wasn't too long ago he joined me to come to Estonia as well. And we have, besides the proven and innovation, proven technology and innovations that we are bringing with this design, it is simplified in many aspects. And one thing that may be of interest to a lot of the Estonian companies and society is that this size of reactor fits very well with conventional technologies. So, for instance, the turbine is the same size as you would find in a conventional fossil burning turbine. It would be the piping, the pumps are to a large extent based on what you can find in catalog. We call them catalog items. They're off the shelf, so lead time is slower, and which is very important for us to be successful in the market. And this is also important for to widen our supply chain. So the people and companies that are providing technologies that go into the plant will be more amenable and have a greater possibility to join as some suppliers to this project. If there's a really good welding company, or if there's a pump manufacturer or whatever it is in Estonia that would like to qualify to get into nuclear, this size is something they probably have done before, so it's not uncommon to anyone. So that is a great benefit with the technology. We can produce electricity with this, and as it is very competitively priced in the market, we will also be able to produce the cheapest hydrogen available in the market. And if we read the outlook for hydrogen production throughout Europe, depending on which outlets you're reading from, hydrogen will become a key component in the transition of our energy system, but also our economy. And it can play the role of the base material into traditional products such as e-fuels, for instance, when we are trying to decarbonize those things. We have a capacity to bring district heating components to this reactor, which means that, in essence, that we have stopped throwing away all the heat that is generated and only set up to be cooled off. We can use some to 150 to 200 megawatts of heat in a system that requires heat, such as a district heating network. And that would provide, obviously, the owners with an external and new revenue stream. But it also provides for the local community probably the most competitive priced heating you can reach in the market right now. All while removing the amount and need for fossil fuel or wood pellets, which then can hopefully be used in a more economic way and higher value production. And it's not as important, but we have capacity to do desalination as well. In this market, perhaps that is not the apparent need, but it may come in some areas. I just move on here, and if there's any questions, please remind me later on that I will respond to whatever. We come from a history of evolution of this technology. So the BWRX, this stands for number 10 in this evolution. And as you see, we have continued to bring forward new technology or version of our technology over the years. It has speeded up, and now recently, when we launched the BWRX-300, gosh, it's six years ago, we were very, very well received by the market, and commercial discussions started pretty early. And I'm proud to say that the Fermi team was very early on and saw the potential here. So we have partnered probably with Fermi since the very beginning. 2017 is the initial meeting we had in Finland, myself, Mr. Kalmets, and our lead innovator, Christo Dahlgren. And since then, we have discussed that we were very proud in February when we were finally down selected as the technology of choice, obviously. But in parallel, I want to mention also that we have continued to grow our customer base. So it's not only Estonia who is looking at this technology. We have partnerships, and I will name 3 specifically right now, with TBA in US, which is our traditional market. The lead installation will be in Canada at the Darlington site. I will give you an update later on that. And the neighboring country of Poland, close to neighboring country of Poland, will be a large deployer of our smart technology. So the innovation itself takes the technology to the market, but after a couple of rounds of commercial discussions, and we have agreed with 3 major customers to move forward, and they all looked at our technology and decided to help us invest to accelerate what traditionally takes a decade or so to get going, as standard design. So instead of having one by one design dependent on national requirements, we have gone to great lengths to pull in global requirements into the design for the first units. That work is going on in parallel as we are designing the site for, or we are designing the units for the first deployment in Canada. And we will have a complete standard design by 2025, which means that whatever is built in Estonia will be exactly the same as will be built in Canada, will be built in Poland, US, hopefully in many other nations as well. So that is a great distinction between our history and where we see the future going. This will become a product, and Fermi is already regarded as one of the family members in this group. So it's very important that Fermi itself, Estonia will not end up with a one-of-a-kind type of technology that will be hard and more expensive later on to service. In addition to the commercial discussions we've had with the mentioned customers, I would like to bring up a couple of items here related to the Canadian market. We were very happy to announce not too long ago that Saskatchewan, the province, their utility, Sask Power, has selected our technology. And this is important because they have never operated nuclear before. But they are, through their links with OPG in Canada, confident and in their evaluation of our design that we will be the technology of choice for them to move from the fossil into more of a conversion type of industry. So they have chosen our technology and are right now planning to deploy it just after OPG. We have many unnamed discussions today in US market, and I expect some of them to become publicly known not too long from now. And if we go over to the European side, You can see that we have, besides Poland and Estonia that I've mentioned, we have discussions with customers for the United Kingdom project. That is a very big project, and we have a history of working there. We have applied for the GDA process, and we'll start licensing very soon there, provided the process continues as it looks right now. We have MOUs and are proactively and actively supporting various evaluations in the neighborhood. So Czech Republic is tendering for the Temelin site. We expect that to be, they would keep their timeline. They are on a very aggressive timeline, similar to what the Estonians are looking for. Sweden, as you may have picked up in the media, are finalizing a feasibility study this year. It will have an announcement probably during next year on their technology choice, and provided they will forward with nuclear, which it seems. And I can also mention that Finnish Fortum is out very aggressively, both Sweden and Finland, looking for input to their feasibility study, which I also expect to develop into some type of deployment path next year or coming years. So by no means Estonia is alone at this, even if it was alone from the start, I'd say. Very visionary statement and actions at the beginning have given, I say firmly, a very good position to deploy this with great benefit. Let's see if I can get the next slide here. So from an update perspective, because the best selling point is not what we have done in the future, it's what we are doing and planning on delivery going forward, and make sure that we keep the schedule and commitment that we have signed up for. The Darlington project is a project by OPG, so I will reference basically what I know and what is publicly available about their progress and what we are supporting them on. We were selected in December 2021. Less than a year after that, we provided information, which is quite a bit of information, to OPG to submit to the regulator, and it's called License to Construct. So we have submitted that application. We believe there will be a 24-month cycle before we get some feedback on their findings. We have done numerous rounds of clarifications and interactions that you typically do, and this October obviously we passed half-time, so we're a bit less than a year from some type of feedback from the regulator that will take us into construction. But as it is right now, we are talking with the regulators to get through their process, and it looks very promising. We agreed with our lead customers to develop the standard design in parallel with the deployment in Darlington. That is also an important show of confidence in my mind. They came to the conclusion that this technology is as matured as they saw from the beginning. They see that there's great potential with us to invest and approach the market differently and more aggressively than perhaps had been done before, but it will definitely benefit the Darlington project as well. So that is great show of confidence. We have started the site preparation work. I'm traveling over tomorrow to Darlington with a larger envoy of European customers. We will spend a week there. It's probably my fourth visit to the area. They are currently moving dirt, preparing the ground level, everything that they can do before the action license work starts. That is ongoing right now, and it looks very promising. They have also, in another show of confidence, revealed their plans for additional units at that specific site. So from the beginning, the award was for 1 unit, but in July this summer, they revealed that they are planning for additional 3 units of the same type. So they will build 4 units consecutively at the same site. And it's a already licensed site, so they have the benefit of that. At the same time, It's a new technology, so we're very pleased to see that they feel so confident that they move forward with us. Quite recently, they revealed, and I encourage everyone who have interest in this area what it means for the local economy. They have revealed a impact study on how much GDP will be impacted by a new nuclear build of the BWRX-300. And for the four unit plants that they have right now, the result was an increase of the GDP over the lifetime of 13.7 billion Canadian dollar, I believe this is. And again, this is important to weigh in when you think about transitioning into a new system. Adding nuclear has a very high impact on the local economy that is often neglected. We tend to just focus on the technology and forget about the good stuff that actually comes with it. Final item I would like to reiterate is that we are planning to have the operation going 2029. Will be completed before that, but commercial operation, real electrons with power and high capacity factor will be started from 2029 and onwards. And I believe that was the final slide of my presentation. Happy to take any questions if that's fitting right.
Yes, back to Fredrik. Maybe one very quick question. Yes.
Today about.
Okay.
The nuclear power, if it's so good, clean and green, why Germany is closing the power stations?
Can I have someone repeat that question? It was a bit bulky. If it's green, clean, why?
Why Germany is closing the power stations?
Why Germany is closing the power stations?
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
It's a political question. I'm just a simple business person. To be honest, I don't know why the nations take their decision as they do. I've seen, I follow the news just as most of you do. It appears that the public polls at least are changing from anti-nuclear to pro-nuclear now. It looks like that is cooling the politicians as well. They haven't changed their mind. They're still shutting down nuclear and keeping them in process for decommissioning. I wouldn't get my hopes up right now, but it would be a surprise to me if they are the only one in 15 to 20 years in Central Europe who is maintaining anti-nuclear stance. So I hope they come back. I hope they take leverage of the new development when it comes to safety and accessibility. But obviously, this is a political question. So when it comes to that, I can't really speak of the future, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you, Fredrik.
Thank you.
Short, we